Housing market is a scary place right now, and that's why I wanted to take the time today and give you some real market feedback. I'm not going to blow any smoke or tell you what I think, because at this point nobody really knows. It's a freaking mystery where things are heading. What I want to do is to give you all of the information for this month's market update and provide the data and share what the experts are saying. So let's get into the real estate market update for Knoxville and beyond for March 2020 COVID-19 special edition. We're going to get into that right now. So I want to forewarn you of a couple things. First is this isolation haircut. I haven't had one in a few weeks. And the second is this video is going to be a bit longer than I'd like it to be. But I wanted to give you all the data around the market and the impact of the virus. So I didn't want to really cut anything out because it could all be important. Before we get into all of the numbers though, and what the experts are saying, I want to let you know that I got all this information basically from 4 places. First and foremost is the Knoxville Area Association of Realtors MLS and website. This and they get all of their information, obviously locally, but also from the Tennessee Association of Realtors and the National Association of Realtors. That's pretty much where I got all the housing market data and forecast numbers. The mortgage data I took from basically 2 sources. The JP Morgan Chase, specifically an article written by a writer by the name of Stephanie Bernard Shotanoff, titled "Low Rates Can't Stop the U.S. Housing Market Crash." If you want to check out that article, I'll leave a link below, but that's the title. The other article is from the Street website by Martin Barkadax, titled "Is the U.S. Mortgage Rate?" As the U.S. mortgage rate hits fresh all-time low, refinancing rebounds as markets stabilize. And finally, I'm going to share some information that I received firsthand from loan officers experiencing the loan application process in real time. Again, I'll include links for these articles in the description below. The housing market stuff you can look up on your own through a pretty easy Google search. So with that being said, let's get into the numbers. The March housing data release reveals that the U.S. housing market began to show signs of slowing in the second half of March. The year-over-year decline in inventory softened. The number of newly listed properties declined and prices decelerated compared to earlier in the month. The total number of homes available for sale continued to decline in March. Nationally, inventory decreased 15.7% year over year. That's a faster rate of decline compared to the 15.3% year over year drop from February. This amounted to a loss of 191,000 listings compared to March of last year. The buildup of the weekly data showed the year-over-year decline in home inventory hitting a low and softening. This could be an early indicator of buyer activity slowing down in response to COVID-19. The week ending March 28th showed a year-over-year decline of 15.2% compared to a larger decline of 16.8% in the week ending in February. This is the largest decline in our records since April of 2015. The numbers were just as intense in Knoxville, with a 4.6% decline from February to March, and then a year-over-year decline of 20%. That's comparing March 2020 to March 2019. The typical property was still selling more quickly than last year, and nationally homes sold in 60 days in March, which is 4 days faster than March of last year. In Knox County, from February to March, the average days on market decreased from about 50 days to about 46 days. And then from 54 days to 46 days when you're looking at the year-over-year change from 2019 to 2020. The median U.S. listing price grew by 3.8% to $320,000 in March. This is a slight deceleration compared to last month when the median listing price grew by 3.9% year over year. The progression of the weekly data showed further hints of deceleration that could be linked to COVID-19. In the week ending in March 28th, the median U.S. listing price only grew by 2.5%. That's the slowest pace of growth this year and the slowest since Realtor.com began tracking in 2013. The slower gains could be indicative of an early market response to the economic uncertainty and the restrictions to the industrial activity, along with lower buyer and seller sentiment or inclination to do business on the market. If continued, this could mark the start of further deceleration in asking price growth in April. For our local market, the median list price increased by 12% year over year, or 2019 again to 2020. It grew by 3.5% from February to March, and due to some positive speculation and the possibility of some states opening back up, including Tennessee, or at least Knox County, and despite the U.S. mortgage rates hitting an all-time low last week, new applications have rebounded. Refinance activity has experienced a volatile 4-week period, but did increase 10% last week. Refinancing will continue to be beneficial for many homeowners and borrowers able to lower their monthly payments, as well as getting into some of their equity to help them through these hard times. The Mortgage Bankers Association also said earlier this month that new rules or mortgage forbearance under the $2.2 trillion CARE Act, which allows borrowers to delay repayments by as much as a year, triggered a near 2,000% increase in requests over the final 2 weeks of March. This is a huge relief for homeowners. However, it's a bane on the market. That means more homeowners are going to be choosing not to sell as they refinance on their homes, which is going to make them stay put as they start over paying down their home mortgage. Before we go further, I just want to remind you that your support helps content like this get more exposure online so people can get access to this information. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and then subscribe to my channel. I put content out every week, and all of it's relevant to your life or someone you know. Now, the U.S. housing market started the year on a strong foot, obviously. If you were following things, the market was moving fast. But the economic downturn and the social distancing caused by the coronavirus, or COVID-19, threatened to derail the sector. The preliminary University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index for April showed plans to buy a home fell the most since 1979. Buying a home is not a priority for people who just lost their jobs, and they have less money to spend on bills, let alone upgrading their lives. We've seen a dramatic and unexpected job loss associated with the shutdown of the U.S. government and economy. During the week ending in March 27, a record number of 6.6 million Americans claimed unemployment benefits, bringing the 3-week total to nearly 17 million Americans. Also, even though mortgage rates are low, getting a loan right now is harder than ever, with many lenders increasing the bar for qualifying for a loan from the low 600s, for example 620, up to 700 points with a full 20% down payment included to get a conventional home loan. At least that's what JP Morgan just announced they're raising their rates to, or their qualifications. Since new home loan applications dropped over 3% last week and over 35% from this time last year, and with the residential mortgage market already under pressure after requests from borrowers to delay mortgage payments, which increased 19,000% or 1,900% in the second half of March, we're in for some potentially very tight and rough housing market times looking forward. Given the hardships that so many of us are facing, it is impossible to quantify how people are going to perceive the housing market in the next coming weeks, let alone after all this blows over. Will it continue to decline, or will we see a bounce back to normal? Nobody really knows. If Americans become more frugal, as they did back during the Great Recessions, home buying will likely decline. Affordability will collapse with fewer eligible buyers to buy a house, and home prices will need to follow suit and start going down in order to attract buyers back to the market. Obviously, with things the way they are, I'm not here to ask you for your business. I'm only making this video to give you a regular guy, a local boy's perspective on the information out there, and hope that I can put it together in a way that it makes sense. Of course, if you have questions or concerns, feel free to contact me directly. What I can't answer, I'll find answers for. But I will say this, many of you will not be able to refinance your home, especially with the higher standards coming from all the lenders right now. And though we're seeing a slowdown in buyer activity, it still might be your only option to sell. So far, we are still selling homes in the Knoxville market. Every day in Knox County and the surrounding counties, we're seeing homes close. Just since yesterday, 32 homes closed in Knox County, and 35 are still in escrow. In March, we saw 750 homes sell in Knox County, with another 838 homes still pending close. And that's just Knox County, not counting Knox City or Knoxville, the city, or surrounding counties. We saw an increase in in the average sales price, as well as an increase in average days on market. A decrease, shortening. We even saw that the actual sales price, or what the buyer bought the home for, as opposed to what the homeowner wants for it, the sales price, versus the list price. The sales price went up by 2%. So I'm not saying that you should sell, but I am saying that if you find yourself in a situation where refinancing isn't an option and a line of credit isn't an option, and you have to make some hard decisions and some drastic changes in your life for the safety and the well-being of yourself and your family, then the idea of selling and talking to a professional about selling is something that's probably worth exploring. Regardless of what you do or what you don't do, I just want you to know that I'm here to serve this community in the best way I can. Not just as a real estate professional, but as a neighbor and as a friend. Look, I've already done a grocery store run for some elderly friends. I've done some trash pickup for people that can't get out of their house or are in fear of getting out of their house due to their high risk of exposure. So whatever you need, seriously, whatever you need, whether it be advice, whether it be some help around the house, an errand to run, a contact for home services, or just an ear to bend so you can talk about what's going on in your life, I'm here to serve you in whatever way I can. With that being said, thanks for watching this video, and make sure to follow me wherever you're watching this. This video is going to be on Facebook, YouTube, all that. And just be sure to follow me, because next week I'm going to put out a video. I've been saying I'm going to be putting this out for a while, but I'm actually going to sit down and edit it today and release it. And it's going to be a video on how to cope during this time of isolation, and so that your family will not just survive, but actually thrive as a family unit and as an individual. It's going to be a bunch of great content that again, it's going to be out next Monday. So make sure to follow me. And in the meantime, stay safe out there. Take care of yourself and your family. And please, have a good day. Make the best of everything. All right? With that being said, I'll talk to you. Residential mortgage market, and with the residential mortgage